but that power is abused. Where if you want to get government support, it's almost like you have to be single.
Okay.
Because if you have the man in the family, then you don't qualify. So that's why a lot of women find that that's an incentive to get rid of their man and be single and collect government help. So that's why you see a lot of female people in power are either single or divorced. Now, women are asking, why do I need a man? Or to lead a group of people into a direction that they may not desire, you have to conquer the power, which the power would be the man. So that's why without the man, it's easier. It's just easier to rule when the man is not there. So that's why there was a war on drugs, which people were serving time for having small amounts of, let's say, like marijuana, and serving a long sentence, especially black men.
Hey, my beautiful people, it's your girl Vanessa Girl Vibes, aka V, and we are the Queens and Kings back again, and I'm happy to be with you all. Well, today I have an interesting big man in the house. He's called Mr. Paradise. He's based in Boston. He's a philanthropist, a filmmaker. He's a big man, a content creator. Hey, Mr. Paradise, what you gotta say to my beautiful people out there?
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Paradise. Quite excited to be here, and I can't wait to see where this conversation goes.
Oh, yeah, I got you. You got me. We got each other. Where today there is an interesting topic I want us to talk about. Well, based on that, you are the man them out there, the man who lives in Boston. You're going to say facts. You're going to say things that you see going on around.
Right.
And well, today we're going to talk about the way how black women act, the way they act, the way the way black women are treating black men, the way black women are even able to kick out their fellow men out of the house because of the government and stuff like that. We've seen videos. We've had even Maniac, the man himself, who was out here, and where he said the same thing. He said black women out there in the States, they act ish with their men, and they reach to the extent of kicking the man out of the house because they know the government is going to pay. The government is going to come in and take care of their children. Well, actually, I'm sitting here and I'm like, damn, is this thing going on right? Is that how women have to act the way they act? Like, what you gonna say about it?
So that's actually true because I feel like the government incentivize being single.
Okay.
Because in the US, unlike here in Uganda, where we still, a lot of people here are traditional.
Yeah.
So they believe in the traditional values of a man working and providing for the family while the woman stays at home to take care of the kids.
Okay.
That's not like that in the US because here in the US, a lot of women work and make more money sometimes than their husbands. So with that money comes a lot of power.
Yeah.
And that power is just, the government also supports that, to allow the women to do whatever they want, which they should. But that power is abused. Where if you want to get government support, it's almost like you have to be single.
Okay.
Because if you have the man in the family, then you don't qualify. So that's why a lot of women find that that's an incentive to get rid of their man and be single and collect government help.
Well, actually, don't you see that the government is actually putting nuisance in marriage? Because these people, they're taking marriage lightly. And actually, they even tend to, they build room for men to start hating the women so much. They spread hate in the man's heart.
Right.
Actually, even I think that this thing actually is working so much. That's why we see the LGBTQ right is so much vast in the States, because these men have fought hate and they don't want to be with women no more. They prefer being with their fellow men because the government supports it.
So what I can say about that is, if people that live here in Uganda or in Africa have to understand that the Western world adapts to change quicker than we do here.
Okay.
So here in Africa, a woman is supposed to get married and have kids. And anybody that doesn't follow that system is looked out as an outcast.
Okay.
It's like if you're 25 and you haven't married, your family is going to start, to talking to you,
Yeah.
you know, bringing you on the side and asking you. In the US, that's not how it is.
Okay.
You know, some people choose not to get married. Some people choose not to have kids. So
understand.
the government has to basically put a system where in the US it's free for all. You can
Okay.
choose to do whatever you want to do. While here in Uganda, it's very communal. We live in a communal setting. That's not the case in the US.
Okay.
So when it comes to incentivizing women to be single, you have to understand that a man in the family
Yeah.
means that that's control over the family.
Yeah, true.
And in retrospect, to be able to rule or to lead a group of people
Yeah.
into a direction that they may not desire,
Yeah.
you have to conquer the power, which the power would be the man. So that's why without the man, it's easier. It's just easier to rule when the man is not there. So that's why there was a war on drugs, which
Yeah.
you know, people were serving time for having small amounts of, let's say, like marijuana, and serving a long sentence, especially black men. So it's crucial to know that a man in the family would create a system where families are independent, where it wouldn't really be easy. I mean, it could go for other things, but I think the man in the family, if the man is taken out, then you know people are easier to be ruled.
Well, actually, we've seen a lot of black women. Actually, the black community
Right.
is getting vast with the black people.
Right.
Black people, these feminists, there's so much in the black society.
Right.
Where do you think the black community is actually taking us?
Desire for power.
Don't you desire for power?
Desire for power.
Okay. Well, don't you think that the rate of single women, single black women, is gonna rise?
It's going to rise, and it's going to rise because we are all going into an era that's unknown to anyone.
Okay.
Because like I said, the typical man has power and woman lead. That's not gonna work anymore because now you're finding that women are making $200,000, $300,000 a year.
Women are
It's
gonna
really
become
really
leaders.
hard to ask someone that makes that much money to be submissive because they can get anything that they want.
understand.
Unlike here in Uganda where, you know, you have a child with a man, they have to provide for you. That
Yeah.
man has to provide for you. So it's easy for you to be submissive. But if you can get everything that you need,
Yeah.
so now women are asking, why do I need a man?
I understand.
And
You
that
know,
question, can you answer that? Why does a woman need a man?
when he or she can
When she- right.
when
The-
she can make her own
Right,
money.
when she can have someone clean her house, she can have someone drive her, she can do everything that a man would typically do, like here in Africa or here in Uganda. So now the meaning of marriage, there has to be more to it. So that's
Yeah.
why, you know, people that are not spiritual, if there's no spirituality, they don't see the purpose of marriage. You know,
Yeah.
if they want to have sex, they can have sex with whoever they want. So they don't see the value of staying with a man.
Yeah, but we've also seen women marrying men instead of men marrying men.
Yeah.
We've seen that quite a while. So I think the meaning of marriage is still there. Marriage is a marital thing. It's something so secretive. We can't compare that with anything.
Right.
Well,
for sure.
but like we in a perspective where we don't know what's going on with those girls' mindset out there.
Right.
But I think what they're doing is wrong because a man remains a man. You know, you're not supposed to be submissive because a man doesn't makes little money more than you do. You know, you're not supposed to be submissive because of that. You're supposed to be submissive because of love, because of where you've come from, and because of what
Right.
you've been through. Because prior, we know the shit
Right.
going on
You're-
out
you're-
there.
you- I mean, you're saying that because you're of African heritage and you live in Uganda, but people that don't live in Uganda don't see it the same because they. So let's talk about relationships, right? Relationships, the way we know it here,
Yeah.
is controlled by a man. In the US, relationships tend to be 50-50. It's
Yeah.
like partnership. We're working together. You work, I work. You take care of the kids, I take care of the
Actually,
kids.
we've
you clean.
also seen the splitting the bills in half.
Right, yeah,
bills
this- right, right,
chores
yeah.
50. Like
Yeah.
imagine such an environment. A man has to do some chores and a woman
Yeah,
has to do
yeah,
some chores. If you
yeah.
don't do this chore, the woman will be like, "Why did you do this? Why did you
Right,
make
yeah.
the bed?" Like she starts acting the way
Right,
she
yeah.
acts because
it's like two men in a relationship.
Yeah, I understand that.
So that's why it's different here. So when we have these conversations, we have to remember that in the Western world, also the desire for power on the men's side, right?
Yeah.
African men want to be powerful.
I understand.
Men, and they want to be powerful because they want to gain control over their woman. In the Western world, a lot of men don't want to be powerful.
Yeah.
They're okay with the powerful woman. They're okay with the woman that can work and and make more money, and like take care of the bills. That doesn't make them less of a man.
Yeah.
Here in Africa, if a man is not providing, they feel like they're less of
Yeah.
a man. While it's not unusual in the US to see a stay-at-home dad.
Okay.
The guy staying at home taking care of the kids while the wife makes
Okay,
money.
things are getting serious.
That's not uncommon. Here in Uganda, it's unheard of, but in the US, on like other Western countries, that's not uncommon. So I feel like us as Africans, just as much as our women are new to power, so like power for women is new here in Africa. We've
Yeah.
never had. Is there any African country that has a female president?
Yeah.
Well, which one? I don't know. So actually, I don't know. Or let's just say it's not very common, right? It's usually men in power. So if you see our parliament, if you see positions of leadership, it's always almost men. So now, but it's starting to change where women are getting this power. You have to ask yourself, what comes with this power? As an average man, can you handle being married to the president of Uganda if if he was a woman? Most likely not. You know what I mean? So that's why you see a lot of female people in power are either single or divorced. It's just the power.
Well, actually,
Power
we've
gets
seen
to
the
them.
president of Tanzania. She's a woman and she's married.
That's good.
Well, that's not a thing. A man can get married to a female president.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible, but for a lot of men, men do get intimidated by powerful women. You should know that.
I
Yeah,
understand.
men. Most men want a woman that they can
They can put
they
on
can
the
lead.
ground. They can lead.
They can lead, and it's really hard to lead someone that's been farther than you've gone.
Someone who's a feminist.
Yeah, right. So it's like if someone's is a president, they're probably like highly educated. They make a ton of money. So you have to be on that level where maybe 1% of people in Uganda can be at the level of dating, let's say, the president's daughter.
Well, don't you think the cause of passport bro movement is gonna become vast out there? Because those people that they won't be interested in the women that with in that country because the women are not gonna be submissive. But when he comes in Africa, you're gonna get a woman who's submissive.
Yeah.
When he goes to Philippines, you're gonna get a woman who's submissive.
Yeah. They should do that if that's what they want. I have no problem with a guy that was born in the US come to marry someone from Uganda.
Okay.
But they should know that Ugandan woman is also interested in other things beyond the relationship.
Is interested because of what?
Money.
Money.
Yeah.
But money
of
is
course.
not a thing.
Well, to them it is. Because if you come to Uganda and you meet a girl, they see you as an opportunity to change not just their life, but their entire family's life. So you're gonna be paying for their cousin's school fees.
Okay.
You're gonna be building their mother's house,
Okay.
and eventually, you're gonna run out of money.
So what you're saying, you rather date a woman from the other side instead of coming here and get a woman who's gonna be kichi, like she be asking
Yeah.
a lot from you.
So if you live in the US, I would highly suggest to consider finding a woman.
You don't
which is-
support the passport bro movement at
it's
all.
I think so. I'm a firm believer in marrying or being in a relationship with people that align with your tradition, with your beliefs, because relationships don't typically stand heavily on traditions.
Yeah, sure.
So for example, it's like if you were, let's say, a white woman and you come over to my parents, I have to explain to you why you have to kneel down.
Oh, I understand.
And it's easy for some people to do that, but when it comes to tradition, those are not things that are debatable.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you
Yeah, I
marry a white
understand.
person, you have to explain to them that African people support their families. So if you're in a relationship with a black woman and she tells you she needs to send money back home, you'd be asking yourself, why are we spending our money to people back home? So those are some of the challenges that you might face. Okay. So I honestly, I would say everybody do whatever you want to do. But if it's possible for you to find someone where you are, where you live, unless you're seeking for more control, someone that you can like control, then come to Africa.
Well, for me, basically, I think the American government is dragging the cause of family down when it comes to the black community, because we've seen a lot of black people, black women being submissive to that thing because they know whenever they're gonna act the way they act, the government is gonna come in and take care of them. Yeah.
What you have to understand is that the child, which is the center of this the relationship where people get help, the child does not belong to just you, the father.
Government.
The government has a lot of control because if you tell the government that I cannot support my child, the government will support your child.
True.
If you tell the government I cannot send my child to school, if they're in like elementary school, if they're in middle school, high school, the government will pay for that. So the government has a lot of control over your child. So if two people cannot take care of the child, the government can take the child away.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it tricky.
So let me play for you this clip, and I want you to react about it.
Why the women in America act the way they act. Yeah. So now you have your own views on that because you raised over here in the eastern part of the world, and I get you. Just hip. I understand. I understand this, man. I understand this, brother. All right. But what I'm trying to say is this: you grow up in a society where it's like it's a bunch of women that are mistreated. All right, treated horribly. All right, I'm talking about like they're and then you have a society where it's like the society is telling you, okay, we'll give you assistance if you have a baby, or we'll give you money if you have a baby or whatever, but the man can't be in the household. Yeah, and that happens in America. Like they'll give you money if you're a black woman and if you're a woman in general and you have a baby and you like you're a single mother, you're not married, like a baby mother situation, they'll give you money. Sure. They will actually give you money. They'll pay for your place and everything, but the man cannot be in the house. So now it creates an incentive for the baby mother to be like, man, fuck that nigga. You understand?
So basically cause depression for mostly black
yeah, I agree. But I also don't know if there's if the government is intending to do that, because there are very many people that are married and happily married. But I think also that there has to be room to protect the woman, because if a boat's sinking, the first people that they're gonna ask to give help is women, children, and animals before so they have to take care of the women. Yeah. So that's just the reality. I believe it's true.
I think the government is creating room for those women to become the way they are right now, to become more envious and
right.
rude.
But you also have to understand this only applies if you're not married.
But I think
if you're married, that's because the government can only protect you if you're married. Like let's say if you're a man that's married to a billionaire wife, the government will protect the man. The men will walk away if they divorce. The men will walk away with money. Yeah, if they wanted to. And if the man is the primary caregiver, they can take custody of the kids. They can take half of the money. Okay. But a lot of people forget, for the US to validate your relationship, it has to be a marriage. You can literally have like 30 kids. If you're not married, they don't see it as a relationship.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. I understand this guy. I understand you. But prior everything, or whether you're married, whether you're not married, I think the government should help out even if a man is still in the house, because I feel like they're creating more envy for the man towards the women. You understand? If a woman pushes you out of the house, I don't think that you would gain that love in you anymore. You'd be like, you want to date another woman. Right. When your woman, like your wife, pushes you out of the house, you having kids with that woman, you've been with that woman for a couple of years. Right. Then that woman pushes you out of the house. There is that thing that actually gets into your mentality. Right, yeah. You tend to think that women are evil. Women are wicked, and actually it's gonna taunt you for the rest of your life.
But that's I don't think that's a government problem. I think that's a people problem. It's like,
but I think it's also a government problem because the government is supporting it. So if it wasn't its problem, why would we even support it?
So I don't think the government is supporting it. I think we have to understand, if you decide, they're personal decisions, right?
Okay.
If you decide to have kids before you get married, in a system that you truly understand, that's a choice that you've made.
True.
And if later you decide that you don't want to get married and continue to have kids, that's a choice that you have made. Because you have to understand, two people in a family, their income combined brings them into a new tax bracket.
Yeah.
People are taxed based on household income. So if you make $50,000 a year and somebody else makes $50,000 a year and you live together and you're a couple, now you make $100,000 a year combined.
Yeah.
You are in a tax bracket that's different from someone that makes $30,000. If it's a single woman with kids and they make $30,000 a year, they need support. Where two of you don't qualify for support. So the systems are there, but the people that are playing the systems are the people we're talking about. It's the people that choose to play the system. It's like same way all of us pay taxes, but there are a small number of people that choose not to pay taxes, and then when they get into the wrong side of the law, they blame the government.
All right. Well, prior everything, prior what's going on, prior why women are acting so envious towards the men, why the government is helping them, stuff like that. Marriage is a secretive thing.
Right.
I
For
said
sure, I
that
believe
a
that.
while ago, and it's marital. Only God knows what marriage is. So let us don't take marriage lightly. My beautiful people watching me out there, don't take marriage lightly and don't play around with marriage. When you choose to be with someone, you have to be with that person. You know when you're taking vows, they be like for better for worse.
Right.
Then that's worse. And why do you walk away when it's worse?
Right,
You gotta
for
stay
sure.
in the game and play around. Well, actually, I was with the mandem himself, Mr. Paradise.
Yes, thanks for
Oh
having
God,
me.
I'm loving your name. I'm loving your name.
Yeah.
Mr. Paradise himself, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited to work with you. Where actually you get any last word for the Black community out there?
So I think really when I have these conversations, let's not try to fix we will eventually fix the big problem, but let's start to work on each others like individuals, because one of the things that you should know is for the things that we've talked about not to happen, first of all, people should be very cautious on when they get married and who they get married to.
Yeah.
And understanding that the role of the man in the family is vital. It's like so there's a math, in any given prison, pick out anybody, chances are their father was not in their life. So the role of a father is important in the family. So I would say my last word would be is focus on working on yourself, by using our community structures like, like churches, mosques and stuff like that, because there is no agenda for the government to weaken your life. You have the ability to change your life on your own. You have the ability to decide when to get married and also decide not to have kids if you're not ready.
Yes.
You have the ability to decide what state you want to live in. You have the ability to decide whether you go to school or not. You have the ability to decide whether you can improve yourself and, get life skills. You have the ability to pursue your dreams, whether you're in Uganda, whether you're in the US, whether in UK, no matter where you are. So I think it's easy to say, what has the government done for us? But the question should be, what have you done for your country and yourself? And I think if you fix yourself and, and any past traumas or whatever that you're dealing with, if you fix that, then there won't be a problem, because the government has put systems to help you grow. But if you choose to go on the wrong side of the law, the results will stay the same.
Yeah. Well, my beautiful people out there, my Black women, stop wanting money too much, because we've realized the only problem why this thing is going verse is only because of the money. It's only because of the shortage of the money. It's only you're making too much money more than the man. That's why you act the way you act. And actually, this thing of wanting money too much, you want the government to give you money, should stop. And actually, when you stop that, these incidents are also going to stop. And that's prior for me. Well, my beautiful people, I'm so happy that you tagged along all this time, where it has been your girl, Venice Girl Vibes, aka V, and I've been with the one and only Mr. Paradise.
Thank you so much,
the
family.
filmmaker, the mandem himself.
Yeah, so you can find me on all social media platforms. It's theone.paradise. You can go to my website as well, www.theoneparadise.com. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
And well, Don't forget, Men at Work is my YouTube channel. Keep on liking, subscribing, sharing, and comment about this video. What have you learned from this video? And I will catch you. I will see you next time.
All right.
Bye.